welcome to today's video. Today I want to talk about what are the paint materials that you need if you've never painted before. Like someone who wants to get into it but doesn't really know where to begin. It can be super overwhelming walking into a craft store and being like, what do I need? What do I don't need? There's so many products and it's really hard to just know where to start, where to begin. So I'm gonna walk you through it. So the first thing I want to talk about, if you want to get into painting, is acrylic versus oils. You have to kind of make that decision. So if you're just starting out, I would probably recommend going into acrylic first. So I'll talk about that, like what you need for acrylic, and then later in the video I'll talk about what you need for oils. But yeah, so if you're starting out in acrylic, the first thing that you're gonna need is just like a variety pack of brushes. I would just get a sample pack to start. Synthetic brushes are probably the best for acrylic, especially for beginners, and so I would just get a variety pack with a bunch of different sizes to kind of like play around with, and then you can kind of get more sizes as you need them. The other thing I would get would be paints in the primary colors. So when you're at a craft store, it's really tempting to get those like packs of paint where there's like 36 different colors. You probably won't end up using them. You can really mix any color with the primary colors that you have. So I would get packs in either like a 2-ounce size or a 4-ounce size and learn and like really push yourself to mix your own colors, because when you learn to mix your own colors, you never need to buy every color under the rainbow. There's packs that sell like all of the different colors. So that like this Liquitex one is a really good one. I'll link it. But yeah, these are like the 2.4 ounces, and these are good if you're just starting and not even really sure if you're gonna stick to it. This is a good size to go for. And this pack that has white, yellow, red, green, blue, brown, black, and a yellow ochre, which is really nice. And with those colors, you can make pretty much any color. So it's easier to learn how to mix colors when you're just starting out, because you really build up your confidence a lot faster when you're painting, as opposed to later down the road when you're more developed in some areas, but then you just don't have confidence mixing the paints, and then you end up with 1,000 paint tubes in every color, which is also kind of wasteful. You could just buy larger tubes and mix your own colors. So that's what I would recommend. So for brands of acrylic paint, there's two that I really, really love and continue to use. There's so many different brands that you could get, but the two that I really love are the Liquitex Basics and the Blick Studio Acrylic. These are both really, really nice, really affordable, and also kind of depends like what store you have around you, if you have Michael's, or if you have a Blick by you. But yeah, these are both really, really good. There's so many other brands. They even have like the craft paint, which is good as well. Artist Loft is really good. I think that's like Michael's brand. But yeah, there's just so many different brands. I can put more in the description as well, but these are the two that I continue to love, continue to buy. So I would definitely recommend these. If you're somebody who wants to paint in gold, you cannot get better than this. This is the best gold paint I've ever used, and it's stunning, flawless, love it. I got this on Amazon, and I'll hold it up so you can kind of like see the brand. It's Pebeo, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that, but it's Studio Acrylics High Viscosity in 352. But it's the best gold metallic paint I've ever used. So if you want to use gold, get this. It's so good. Now, if you're starting out in acrylics and you just kind of want to do a little bit of like a bougie splurge, these are more expensive, but this is the Liquitex Heavy Body Paints. These are really nice. They come in a set where you get all the primaries, plus white and black, and these are really, really good, really high quality, and the paint is a lot thicker. So if you want to try something, they're more expensive, but I think they're good for beginners, and you really, really like, you can really feel the difference when you paint with these. But if you're just starting, you're not even sure if you're going to want to stick with it, I would go affordable. And then if you're feeling like you want to try something new, try something a little bit nicer, I would go with a high viscosity paint. So for our sample pack of brushes, I would get like just like primary colors in your paint tubes, and then I would get two things. I would get a bulk pack of canvases in whatever size you're comfortable with. I would probably start small, and I would start super affordable because your first paintings aren't going to be masterpieces. I mean, maybe they will, but mine weren't. So it's literally just a practice. So just like super affordable canvases that you can kind of like use and even like paint over with acrylic is really nice when it dries. If you don't like the painting, you can paint over it. And then a sketchbook, because I think when you're starting in acrylic, it dries so quickly, so like you could practice in your sketchbook as much as you want before going onto a canvas. So those are the 4 things that I would get if you are just starting out in painting in acrylics. So in oils, I would get the exact same pack of brushes plus a mop brush. These are like the super fluffy ones. You could even use a makeup brush, honestly. Just don't use it for makeup ever again, or just get a brand new one and that's just for your oil paints. No mixing. But yeah, so I would get plus a mop brush, because oils, when you want to like mix in oils, they stay wet for a long time, so getting a mop brush would be super helpful, especially when I paint clouds in oils, which a lot of people do. It's really, really popular and really fun. So I would also get a mop brush, which typically doesn't come in the sample pack, so you might have to just get this one like off the shelf. Yeah, because I feel like for me with the mop brush, it's something that I wish I would have bought earlier on. It's almost like I was like, oh, I don't need it, but I wish I would have bought this earlier. It really helped my confidence with oil painting, especially when it came to landscapes. This brush was really, really helpful. Even like water, if you wanted to do like light on water and just like lightly kind of like do like the little like streaks in the light, this is really good for that. So I'd also get this. This is really, really great for oils. Okay, so for oils, I would get like a bulk pack of canvases, just the same as you would in acrylic. Something that's like really affordable to practice on. But for oils, I would actually get panels, because with oils, because they don't dry very quickly, you could run out of space. Like, I don't know how to like explain it. You can't really stack your paintings on top of each other for a really long time after they dry. So because they need all of like their own space, it might be easier and like say like space saving to get panels so that they can dry. That was something that I've run into with oil paints, is like, where do you put them to dry? So starting with small paintings in oil, so that you have space to like lay them on a table, because they will take days, weeks, even longer to dry before they can like touch, even months, depending on the thickness of the paint. And then in oils, for paints, I would recommend the same thing as in acrylics, whereas I would get a bunch of like medium-sized tubes of just the primary colors, and learn to paint and learn to mix your colors first when you're just starting out, and then you can get different colors, you know, that you like use really, really frequently down the road. But I think it's just really crucial to learn how to mix colors early on, so that you don't have to buy every color, and that when you're painting something, you don't get stuck because you don't know how to make a color. It really, really helps build your confidence. So for brands and oils, I've used Artist Loft, and I've used this brand that it's called Natural Earth Paint, and they have their pigments where you mix them with the oils that they provide, and they have like a nice sample pack that you can get a bunch of colors. So I would recommend that if you want to try something, but if you just want to try something super, super beginner friendly, I'll link a few options below for brands. But it doesn't really, when you're starting out on oils, oil paint can get really, really expensive. So I would definitely start with kind of like the like entry level paint, and then work your way up from there. Another thing is walnut oil. I would recommend just like 100% walnut oil to mix. They have like linseed oil you could use at the craft store. Like, those are all good too. Other thing that I would get, so when you're getting paints and oils, you're gonna need all of your oil paints, but one thing that would be nice is and that I would recommend for beginners, is an underpainting. So when you're doing oils, sometimes it's nice to have like a base coat in acrylic. So for example, underpainting might look like this. You've probably seen this before online, where you have a really thin layer of, this is a burnt sienna, or like a burnt umber or any other color, but a burnt sienna would be, it's probably like one of the most popular choices, and it really makes your paints feel more like warm and rich with this underpainting. So I would just get a small bottle of burnt sienna paint, and then you can just water it down in acrylic, paint that first, and then go wait for it to dry, and then go on top of your oils. If you're just starting out in paints and you really want to learn how to mix colors, there's a bunch of videos on there. I don't have a video just dedicated to mixing paints, but in every single tutorial I have, I talk through how I mix my paints. And it's not something I think you necessarily need to buy, but it's something that would be nice to just have like as a picture on your phone or something. It's just like a color wheel so that you can kind of see how to mix different colors. And once you like watch videos and research, it makes a lot of sense. But yeah, it would just be like a good, like just to have like a color wheel reference photo, I think would be really good when you're just learning. Okay, so to kind of summarize, the things that I would get are a bulk pack of canvases or panels, a variety pack of synthetic brushes in a bunch of different sizes, maybe add on a mop brush if you want to do like clouds, landscapes, or anything that's super blendy. And I would get linseed oil or walnut oil to help dilute your paints if they're too thick. And then just make sure you have high quality dish soap to really like clean those brushes when you're done with soap and water. So yeah, that's it. That completes this video. That's everything I would get if you're just starting out in paints. I highly encourage you to. I love painting. It has been like such a fun and like relaxing hobby for me, and I just love it so much. So I hope you paint. I hope this convinced you to paint, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye everyone.